And look, perhaps we could kick this off by asking you to tell a little bit about your business and what you do.
Okay. Today I run a business called solomoIT. And before I explain what does that really mean for first-time people listening to this magic word, I, of course, worked for corporate companies for about 22 years. And in the last 11 years ago, I should say, I started my business in internet marketing. Internet always have been my passion for about nearly 25 years, and when I get the opportunity to quit my corporate life and started back in 2004, I got into it a little bit unknown, not sure exactly where I'm getting into, but I got into it. With a slow start, obviously things got bigger, and up comes social media in 2007, and I got into it virtually from day one and haven't stopped since then. So you might just say, what is this solomoIT is all about? Solomo is all about being social, that is so, being local, where you want to target your local market, mo being your mobile, and IT, you can really say it intelligently targeting or information technology. solomoIT is my brand name today. So everything that I do is to do with digital transformation. So today we are focused on companies, either SMEs or startups that really want to do digital transformation the way they want to do their business. So we do everything from concept to market, and thereafter support it if they really require. Typically, we are based, of course, for the listener's point of view, based in Melbourne and Sydney, and we support clients anywhere in Australia, being internet, and we are also now started attracting overseas. And believe it or not, we have clients from Europe as well. So that hopefully explain.
Yeah. Just before you carry on, I do want to come back to those items, but I just want to touch a little bit before we get there on some of the journey that you've had since 2007, because I know when you venture online, things don't always go the way that some of the coaches explain or lead you to believe that they're going to go. It's a big learning curve right from the beginning. Can you tell us a bit about what happened since 2007 to where you are now, and some of the trials and tribulations that occurred during that period?
Okay, thank you. Well, 2007, I think we all know something happened, right? Which is where the economical turmoil happened. And with that, I was running my web business. I sort of started looking and say, if I carry on the way I'm doing it, I'll be finished in no time. So I was looking for something unique and different. And at that time, somebody said, Logan, you should look at Twitter. And I said, what the heck this Twitter is all about? And of course, I looked at it, and knowing a little bit about SMS and so on, I quickly got the gist of it, and that's how I got started. So the best way to learn anything, and I'm sure as entrepreneurs we all agree, is to start teaching people. So what I started doing it within a year or so after mastering what Twitter is all about, wrote a book about Twitter, which is how to use Twitter for business. That is back in 2008, and then started running workshops. And with that, I never stopped looking back. And today, I really have two things that when you come to social media, I look at LinkedIn purely because my business is focused on business to business, and Twitter is being the other social media tool that I use. I suppose you want me to expand on the challenges, right?
Yeah, please, if you would. Thanks.
Okay. The challenges is that, like anything, I didn't have a clue what I was doing in 2007, except I had all the hands-on experience coming from my corporate life and the previous 5 years of working with small businesses. What is it that really want them to get? So I come up with this formula called what I really come up with is a human element to it. If you really want to attract somebody like we are doing it here, it's really end of the day, it's about the 5 human elements. What are they? It's about being visual. That's what we are doing. We are looking at each other. Being auditory, being speaking to each other. And the third element is all about kinesthetic, or really attracting something, whatever you are saying. And the fourth and fifth uh, is about smell and taste. Fortunately, that's not online yet, right? So the visual, the auditory, and the kinesthetic is the one that I really thought the basic element for social media. So if somebody want to communicate, which is exactly what we are doing here today, we are visually looking at each other, and obviously our listeners are looking at us, and auditorily I'm hopefully explaining the information to them. And whatever that transpires through your questions and my answers, it is probably kicking and they learn something out of it. And in all social media channels, whether it's a Twitter or LinkedIn or Facebook, that's a key element of it. If you got what I call it whack, the visual, the auditory, and the kinesthetic right, you got the communication right. That's the basic element of it. It's easy for me to talk about it now, but it took me a few years to master that. And today, it comes like a back of my hand. And those who have read my articles, you probably know that I now use a keyword as a subject, and then acronymize it, and then write an article about it. So if you visit my LinkedIn or my blog, any article that I write is all about 1 or 2 message I want to get to it. I acronymize it, and then I put it out. The last one I put out yesterday is about policy, social media policy. So the word policy, it's become my topic, and that's going back to that visual, auditory, kinesthetic to explain the way, simplifying and explaining back to the audience. Does that make sense?
It's a very, very handy method, Logan, and I have used that technique myself a couple of times, and it's one that you can use to definitely help you know, your listeners or your learners pick up what it is you're trying to teach them. I know that right. Ranil is very much involved with digital as well. Ranil, can you relate to what Logan's talking about here?
Yeah, absolutely spot on. Look, I'm in digital advertising as well, and I find the same, I guess, challenges out there that businesses have. And you know, my question, I guess, to you is, I know who your clients are, and they're, you know, they're SMEs that are looking to make the transformation from, I guess you could say, offline to actually, you know, connecting to their audiences online, but also in a social way. So my question, I guess, is, do you believe that every single business should make the transformation? That's one question. And number two, do you really believe, I mean, there will be, you know, business owners, entrepreneurs at the moment who fit the bill of, you know, looking to make that move, but not knowing where to start. So I guess the second part of the question is there a formula, or is it you know, logistically a long road ahead?
Well, if you asked me that 5 years ago, I would have said yes, you just jump in and see it. But thank God, a lot of us have gone into trial and error mode. We have perfected the model. There's a lot of social selling experts online that we can learn quickly from. Answering your first question, can anyone escape without being on digital transformation? My blunt answer is no, right? If you really want to have, you know, the time is the biggest issue nowadays. If you really want to fast track your success, digital is the way to go, right? The old way of working doesn't work. However, the old process and the method still applies, but in a digital way.
Right.
So answering your second question in terms of diving into it, you know, a digital transformation. By the way, I'm just writing a book which I've just finished, and we'll be releasing it in the next month or so. So look out for that. It's called the Digital Transformation, Ultimate Guide to Digital Transformation for SMEs. Anyway, if I can just do an introduction out of that book, I suppose, the what we call it, Think Digital. This is for any SMEs about thinking digital. What is the essence of thinking digital? The number one is about your story. Whatever the entrepreneurs want to achieve, what is your story that you want to get out of it, right? And the next thing is it's who are your market that you are targeting to. The third one is a platform that you want to use. Either, web is always given, but I'm talking about here on social media, right? Whether it's just LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, whatever it is, or number of them, you decide that. What are we trying to do here? One is your story is about your value proposition, right? And your market is about your target audience that you want to get attracted to using that visual auditory kinesthetic I talked about.
Yep.
And then you're going to say, where are your audience? What is your value proposition you're giving? Which is the best platform for you to use, right? Yep. So if you're on a B2B, obviously LinkedIn is the right platform.
Yep.
But if you really want to get some quick headline messages out, Twitter is the way to go. And I'm simplifying it here, and all of these platforms are now changing, and the differentiation is narrowing all the time because they're competing with each other in an indirect way. But they all got some unique offer, which I can't go into it in the 20 minutes. But essentially, that's what it is. Right?
Yeah.
So the value proposition need to be communicated through visual auditory kinesthetic that I talked about. Your target audience need to get the attention. At the end of the day, the relevancy between the target audience and the value proposition is the key to the success.
Yeah,
right?
Understood. I mean, yeah, the question I want to ask as well is there's so many different options out there.
Yep.
There's more. There's some that get, I guess, more media attention than others. And I think where the gap in the market is it lies in the captain of the ship, so the boss of the company that doesn't know how Twitter works, hence they don't do it. Now, I've experienced this myself. I don't know if you experienced this yourself as well. So my question is, if someone doesn't know how a particular social platform works, is it the right platform for them? And also, what do they write? What's the content? Are they selling? Is it a personality thing? I hope I'm not throwing too many questions out there, but this is very interesting conversation.
This is all valid when I go and do a digital marketing strategy, exactly what people say. Now, remember, I talked about the story. What is this story, your value proposition you are trying to get out there? In other words, do you have a digital marketing strategy that links to your business plan ROI? Right? If it doesn't, then you got really that value proposition. That is your content, right? And of course, then you are trying to attract a particular target audience. What are your keywords? Right? What is it that relevant to match it? For example, if I'm going to talk to you about social media, right, I need to talk about anything related with those keywords, right? Likewise, a business in a plumber, right, that he needs to talk about anything that relate to the target market being the consumer, that the mums and dads or the businesses that he's trying to attract in the way that they need to understand. Right? So the keywords are that really matters. The choosing a platform really comes back to your ROI and the type of target audience that you want to get to.
Understood.
Right? So if it is a business to business, like I said, LinkedIn, to me, the best in the marketplace. And if you're really talking about a consumer thing, like example, a plumber, Facebook. It's probably the best that you can get out there. Right? Again, I'm simplifying it, but I hope you got the gist of it.
Yeah.
To answer your question in one line, please make sure you have a strategy that in line with your business plan and the return on investment. Without those links right up front, all your work on, doesn't matter what platform you choose, is a chasing a long tail. It's a trial and error. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. It does. It answers it very well. Thank you. Stuart, over to you, mate.
Yeah, sorry. So, I'm intrigued by what you're saying, Logan, because I think it's very effective for small to medium enterprises and, of course, large enterprises. And I know a lot of where you're pitching most of the time is towards these entities. But if I relate to perhaps an individual, would it be fair to say that an individual could definitely leverage these platforms, particularly if they did the thinking around, what is their story, what is their target market, because you have to think about those things a little bit before you go anywhere.
Yep.
Could they utilize these platforms to develop their own income stream or their own business?
Well, good question. Individual as people looking for a job, if you like, as an example of it, right? I actually lecture for the MBA students in Sydney, and a lot of those guys are actually doing MBA, but they're not quite ready, right, for their jobs. But today, anybody that doing MBA should be really getting their branding out there, personal branding out there. And the way I tell them is that you should be position yourself such a way you don't apply for a job, that actually the companies are looking for you. They are coming after you. Yeah. Right? So coming back to your question about personal thing, the personal branding is a key. Right? Today, if you type my name, Logan Nathan, I occupy the first page of Google. And I have been doing that for many years. How? Simply, I use my blog, and I use my Twitter, I use my Facebook, I use my LinkedIn, I use my Pinterest, right? Yes, I'm in the business of doing social media or digital marketing, but anyone here that listening to this wants to really get the personal branding going, they need to ensure that they are onto at least 1 or 2, 3 mediums, particularly those who are looking for a job. They need to make sure their profile is well and truly there, the way that they need to describe to the targeted audience being their job seekers or their companies that they're looking for, it's well and truly done. Let me give you a tip that I give to the job seekers. I tell the job seekers, go and look at your typical job that you're after on LinkedIn, right? Let's say business development manager for a social media company, right? Look at all the description there, the keywords, and reverse the strategy, reverse it, and have your profile done. Guess what? When your people are looking to match the job title with your profile, you're going to pop up.
Yeah.
So that's really very valuable to Logan, because I think what we could definitely inspire in young people, or even school leavers, or even early employees, is the fact that they can use their skills with social media, particularly with mobile social media, and develop their profiles, whether it be for an individual branding or whether it be for a business branding. They could develop that in these social media platforms, particularly likes of LinkedIn, so that they could really inspire themselves to create, more than what they're doing now. I'm probably not articulating this very well, but I think you probably understand what I'm trying to say is, because a lot of young people are already doing this, if they just mold what they're doing to these types of branding profiles, then they could really create a very inspiring situation for themselves.
Well, Stuart, just to explain your thing in a very simple term, which again, like I have this acronym, the simple thing, end of the day, they're looking for, can I trust this individual, right? Like I said, let me now make that trust into the acronym and explain what does that trust mean in terms of social media. The T stand for transparency, right? So when I look at somebody's profile, is he transparent? Is it clear what this individual is all about, right? The next thing they're looking for is a relationship. Who is this individual connected with? Who do they know? Okay, that they can relate to or ask questions if they have to. I'm talking about the job point of view. It's also applied to anybody, even for salespeople looking to get referrals. The third one is about uniqueness. What is his unique attributes or the passion this individual brings? All right. Then the next one is about a strategy. Is that individual got a strategy in place? Right. And the last one is all about timing. Right? In anything we do on social media, you post something in the related time, you get a lot more attention than another time. So the timing is everything. And also, you know, if you really want to get a lead or a job, the timing is everything, right? So you know, the trust, the word trust, transparency, relationship, uniqueness, strategy, and timing is a must for anybody. By the way, I have a great article on that on my profile if anybody wants to read that.
Awesome. You're using social media again. It's just in your blood, isn't it, Logan? You just can't help yourself. This is brilliant.
Thank you.
I love it. Good stuff. No, this is really valuable. This is really, really good, Logan. There's heaps of insights here that I'm going to be taking to my business actually tomorrow. So thanks heaps. I'm wondering if we can maybe concentrate. You mentioned LinkedIn. You know, it is a very, very powerful social media, you know, platform. I don't really think many people out there know how powerful it is. I think a lot of people, you know, just do a profile, but they don't necessarily know what leverage they can get from it. Can you share any stories with us, perhaps, that you know might be able to, it's a game changer, I guess, you know, that can make people shift in their seats and go, oh my gosh, I need to kind of clean up my, you know, LinkedIn profile tomorrow.
Right. Ranil, I could talk about for an hour or so on this subject, which I'm going to do at a webinar, which I will talk about it at the end of this session. However, just to answer your question, if anybody wants to be successful on LinkedIn, the number one thing to do is being transparent. In other words, go and look at your profile. You know, is it really giving the basic information that people need to look at it, especially the headlines and the executive summary? If you don't have those two, you lose it before you know, people start getting more into details. The next thing is start building relationship, and particularly with your strategy, who do you want to connect to, right? If you don't have that, then obviously you're not going to get the third part, which is the third part is about start engaging with those people that you connected with. Right, the engagement is, you know, nowadays I put out social media posts and all of that. I mean, articles and so on. But I'm not talking about that for a beginner. I'm talking about getting involved and looking at somebody's post and sharing it, putting some comments into it, and start engaging it. In fact, I have an article that's gone viral worldwide. Like it or not, you got to like it. Right? The word "like" is about leverage, intelligence, knowledge, and engagement. Right? The word "like," leverage, intelligence, knowledge, and engagement. If you read that article, it'll give you when you press the button "like," and we all do that as youngsters, and especially on Facebook, and we all get this thrill out of that kinesthetic feeling out of somebody liking our post. But when you're on LinkedIn, if you like it, you're really getting connected with that individual or the group of people. That people don't understand the power of like, right? I'm not suggesting just tomorrow you go and like all the posts. That's just a dumb thing to do. But I'm talking about liking and sharing something that is relevant to you, or that somebody your network can benefit out of it, right? So to the listeners, please go and read that article if you haven't read it. It's on my profile. It's like I said, like it or not, you got to like it. and simple as that, right? So you see your profile, your relationship, in other words, your network and your engagement, that can set you up for success with all the other things that I talked about, you know, in terms of your personal strategy and your branding and so on. Have I answered your question?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, yes. No. It's. Sorry, Stuart. After you.
No, go ahead, Ranil. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, if you look, yeah, I think there's obviously a lot more nuggets in there. You know that we hope maybe in a future show we can actually, you know, share a little bit more as well. But it's in closing, I guess, did you want to share with us any specials that you have for any of our listeners that are currently listening and over the interweb?
Okay. Well, I'm going to run a webinar on the 9th of July, and that will also follow through every month. It's a freebie. to really talk about how to get leads from LinkedIn. And as soon as you say leads, you probably say, oh, I'm not a salesperson. It's got nothing to do with sales. It's all about getting leads for whatever that you want to achieve. If you're looking for a job, that's the lead for you. If you're really trying to get, expand your network, that's a lead for you. But particularly for salespeople, I'm going to give some golden nuggets how to get the leads. You guess it, the word leads again is an acronym. I'm going to talk about that.
Is Logan an acronym for anything? I would love to know.
Well, just to make it a bit of a fun, somebody told me shit. Somebody told me shit, and that's not a right word to use. But I made that into a positive thing. Strategically harnessing information technology. That's the word shit for me. So you give me a word, I'll make it into an acronym. That's just the way that I am today. But I tell you what, it didn't come to me naturally, but over the years of doing all of this day in, day out, today, you give me a word, I'll make that into an acronym and make it into an article. So I have hundreds of them already online.
Right. I want to just reiterate Logan's offer there. He's made a fantastic offer to a free webinar, so there's no cost to attend that webinar. As you can see with the content that we've had tonight in half an hour, you can be absolutely certain that it'll be packed with good stuff. And look, we've got a link here. I'm sorry I put it up on paper. It's tinyurl.com/Logan's webinar. So you can get access to that free webinar right there and then. And look, I just want to reiterate before we round out, and Logan and Ranil, I'm going to prepare you now. I'm just going to ask you for your last little nugget before we close out tonight. But I want to reiterate the dynamism of the platforms that Logan's been talking about, because LinkedIn has really become a powerful place for everyone. It's so far-reaching and so it's so powerful. It's a really good place to learn and really try to promote yourself or promote a business. And look, you can't go wrong. Go there and learn what to do. Go to Logan's free webinar. And look, I want to also give a plug to Google, because Google is far-reaching as well. It's really catching up with Facebook in terms of numbers, and the capability of Google to really get a message out there or create branding or persona, and of course engagement, as Logan has talked about, is very, very achievable on Google, just as we're doing here. This is a Google platform.
Exactly.
So look, with that, perhaps I'll go to Ranil first, Logan, if you don't mind, and we'll just get a last round out comment.
Look, I think it's obviously a very powerful topic, and it's almost somewhat of a Pandora's box. And I hope today's session could just share to people how powerful this really is. The takeaways for me was actually the reverse engineering concept, which I really liked. If people actually missed that, probably go back again and listen to that and get the concept. I think it's brilliant. I think it can work on many levels in terms of marketing as well, actually, in terms of products or services. The other thing was also in terms of which social media platform to choose. And it's as simple as, like you said, just what is your target market, on, where are they? Where are they on? Who are they following? And just, I guess, get on that. So, it's not necessarily about, I think, what you, the business owner, perhaps might be into. It's actually where your market is. And I think that's the real takeaway today. Just in closing as well, Logan, if you want to go ahead and perhaps mention your books as well, because just to the listeners out there, there's a lot of noise. I'm in digital advertising myself. I do a lot of research, watch a lot of videos online. There's a lot of conflicting arguments out there and a lot of noise, and it just seems to me that we need to follow gurus, and people who have a passion. Obviously, Logan's absolutely got that. So yeah, if you could, in your little blurb right now, Logan, let us know about the books, your blog and also your webinar again on the 8th of July, please.
Thank you. Well, the book is all about the ultimate guide to digital transformation for SMEs. I spent the last 3 months, many hours writing it up. We have gone and done a lot of case studies so that the case studies will be all included in that book, and into how the framework should be done, how people should be think digital, how do they put the strategy together, all that in that book. So I'm excited about it. It's actually with the designers putting the layout together at the moment, so I'm expecting that end of July, August time frame I can release it. In terms of the please attend on the 9th of July for the 1-hour freebie on LinkedIn leads. Go and getting leads from LinkedIn. And the last word from me is, looking back where I got to today, those who are really trying to think about digital or digital transformation, think big, but start small. That's my advice, because you just got to start small. That's how you build your confidence, right? With that, and there's plenty of experts out there, a lot of information out there for people to fast track. But once you build that, your own success stories in a small way, the rest will just fall into place. Thank you very much, guys, for allowing me to talk today's Inspired Talk session.
Awesome, Logan. It's been great to have you here. We've been talking to Logan Nathan on Inspire Talk this week. And before we close out, I just want to pop back to one of Logan's comments very early on tonight. I think this comment alone is worth gold. So if you can take it in and absorb it and understand what it means, this is how it goes. He said the best way to learn is to teach. And with that, I'm going to say thanks very much, everybody, for watching in, and stay tuned for next week's session, same time, Tuesday night, for Inspire Talk. We've got another fantastic guest with us, and you'll be very excited to stay tuned for that one. So, look, thank you very much. Good to see you. Thanks, Logan. Thanks, Ranil.
Thank you. Thanks, Ranil. Thanks,
Logan. Thanks, Stuart. See you guys. Bye-bye.